Hey everyone, my name is Link Sam, and welcome back to another episode of Animation Analysis. And joining me as always is...
Hello Internet, welcome to Animation Analysis, where today we're gonna find out if Omni-Man is really the villain.
Didn't you make a game?
I'm immortal.
Stop.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna have a small disclaimer before we actually get into talking about the episode. We actually already recorded this. The problem is that the audio file just did not pick up on any of my audio, and some of Immortal's audio cut out, so we're basically redoing this. So if there's anything small, like detail-wise, that we may have missed, we probably haven't. We just already talked about them. We're just gonna go over like the main things in the animation that we really like.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that said, we'll get into it, and from our perspective, we'll get into it again.
Let's just jump into it.
Okay, I said it already, but the hand-drawn looks all like the background, like setting, all looks really, really nice.
Oh yeah, that's just something I think Death Battle has become really fucking good at. The settings and backgrounds, they all look great.
It's warm. You know, Nolan, Homelander.
Okay, so like I mentioned,
more than
like
just
I'll
a
let this play out a little more.
It might be cynical to say this, but he's a brand. And it's very important to me that that brand means something. And if I'm playing second fiddle to some goddamn alien, what's really the point, right? What do you think, Debbie? Nah, she's shy. So, do we have an understanding? Get the fuck out of my country.
Okay, I wanted to mention this, but the sheer dickish energy, sheer dick biscuit energy Homelander has is so well done. Like, Young Gay does a fantastic job as Homelander here.
Oh, definitely. It's something I do like out at the start of the animation. We can see Omni-Man notice, Debbie.
Yeah, like,
brand.
I think it was like...
It might be cynical to say this, but Homelander is more...
I think it was, yeah, right there. Essentially, I think it just honestly boils down to Omni-Man going, what are you doing here and why have you done that?
Right? What do you think? So
and I don't think I mentioned... Oh yeah, I don't think we mentioned this actually in the first recording, but Homelander, the way they animate Homelander's laser eyes here, like unlike in the live action for The Boys where it's just red, completely red, I really like how they like change like the colors of his iris and pupil here.
But you can actually see them, and so he can better convey emotion.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a unique thing how they have like heat lines escaping from his pupils. That's a little interesting thing that I don't think they did that in the live action.
Standing? Get the fuck out of my country.
And continuing talking about like a really well done voice performance, I love how Yang Ye just instantly switches from like the nonchalant, false friendly tone to straight to
understanding. Get the fuck out of my country.
Just the straight seriousness there.
I'm going to feed you your own heart.
Something I didn't mention before was I actually do like the breathe-in part. Like,
yeah, like when a character takes
he doesn't show it, but he's genuinely pissed off.
Yeah, like they don't. Whenever someone portrays does a deep breath in, it just pretty much conveys across. Oh, they're pissed off, aren't they?
Yeah.
And just like Homelander just going like. Just a small pause and
Shit. That was a great line.
Okay, so I meant again. I really hope we don't sound repetitive, but I am still really annoyed that the audio messed up the first time. But as we mentioned this in the original recording, how Omni-Man's punches here, they don't have any like impact lines or like speed lines to to it, sort of like an infamous moment in Shao Kahn versus Akuma, where Akuma as Oni just punched the shit out of Shao Kahn's chest, and it had no effects other than like incorrect like motion lines on the side of the screen.
Yeah. But here I guess it works a bit better.
Yeah, it works because Omni-Man's holding back. He's basically seeing how much Homelander can take. It's also just another thing that just shows how much in control Omni-Man has over the fight, as we'll see later. And the coffee cup just splattering on Homelander's face is funny because this either implies that the punch barrage on it was so fast, or the fact that the initial punch from Omni-Man launched the coffee cup up so high that it took that long to fall onto Homelander's face perfectly.
Actually, it's cocoa, and it was still warm.
But it's a coffee cup.
Yeah, but it was cocoa.
Anyways.
Country? Seriously? I'm not here for your country.
That one line just shows like the difference in scope between these two. And I mentioned this, but I just love the one frame of Omni-Man being like, what the hell is he doing? Like right here. His wide eyes just look so great.
Oh yeah, it's really fucking funny.
But like the fact that they have civilians here just fits in with both so well, and this leads into the upcoming face drag where you can see Homelander winding up before he goes straight toward the face drag, which leaves like a perfectly clean cut through the road, which honestly works.
Because they're so powerful and so durable.
And another thing,
and it's implied they're moving so fast as well.
Yeah, the speed thing. Speaking of the speed thing, it's a small detail, but if you look closely, you can see like a small bit of red and blue, which shows them as blurs.
Mm-hmm.
And like during the initial part of the face drag, Homelander's looking down at Omni-Man here before he looks up to see they're about to run into a gas truck, which he just which you can either interpret it as he sees it and just continues on the path, or he looks up and is like, oh, whoops. Which honestly,
I don't think it was more of a whoops thing.
Yeah, knowing Homelander was probably more of a whoops, but it can honestly work either way.
I do also like how Homelander is the one to fly up first.
Yeah,
and his expression implies that he's the one that took the full brunt of the hit.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. He's recoiling.
You could either, so he almost definitely, like, pushed off of Omni-Man and flew upward, but at the same time, that explosion didn't, like, leave him unscathed, unlike Omni-Man, who just, boom. And straight into, like, that straight up, like, the fact that he parted clouds with the flight, really cool. And that was just one, I really like this thing here. Homelander goes in for the punch. Omni-Man just is that much faster. Which just shows the difference in the two. It's really well done. And he just holds him out waiting for the plane. Which is a really good reference to both of the series, because this is a reference to the infamous train scene in Invincible. And it's also a reference to the boys scene with the Invincible in the infamous plane scene where Homelander just killed a bunch of people.
Honestly, for this, I think I probably would have liked it more if
I would have
Omni-Man.
Cool, because, are you familiar with the train scene?
I've seen a clip of it.
Yeah, like, it could have been, like, really cool and also really gory how the Omni-Man just stays floating and has the plane crash into the two of them with all the people on board just smashing into Homelander. Could have been cool, but at the same time, it would then, considering, yeah, Homelander has the laser eyes, it would have been dumb for him not to do that here. And I mentioned this, but Omni-Man just palming Homelander's laser beams is just so cool.
It's so badass.
It just shows how much little he cares. The fact he also catches laser beams right out of the air.
Never been hit by someone your own size before? You have to turn with the punch to reduce... Better.
Okay, so this condescending attitude is really well done, because again, it shows the difference between the two, as well as just another small detail. I didn't mention this, but actually, Omni-Man, like, him talking about, like, the whole thing about the punch.
Turn with the punch to reduce...
He kept his eyes closed there. His eyes were closed here, and Homelander tries to go in for a sucker punch, but he counters it nonetheless.
I think this is the first instance of them drawing blood in the fight as well.
Yeah. And speaking of blood, the fact that they didn't just animate it just blood out on his face, like they actually animated blood snot mix out of his nose, that's really small details that I love to appreciate. They didn't have to do it.
It's disgusting, but it is a good detail.
Yeah, they didn't have to do it, but the fact they did is just great.
Better.
And I did also mention this, but Omni-Man's not just grabbing Homelander by his leg and hand. If you look closer, one of his knees is in Homelander's back, and the other one of his feet is right under his chin, in order to like give him more grip and more power when he just goes straight down like that. Which is kind of a shame that we don't actually get to see that impact, because we get to see like one of the only real meaningful hits Homelander manages to land on in the fight. I want to say this, like, I mentioned this, how the fact that they didn't just make his voice really loud. They actually added a bit of distortion to the sonic screen, which is like a bit of detail that they didn't need to do. But the fact they went out of their way to like make it more convincing is really well done. And another thing, character-wise, instead of something like I don't know, like enough or release or something like that, Homelander says stop it, like a child.
Well, I mean, yeah.
you were trying to figure out a way to stop it, but they're like, no, you can't. But yeah, which leads into and the civilians dying, which fits in with both series. And again, when it comes to like character portrayal,
On the brink of losing it.
yeah, and I want another thing to point out. If you look at how fucked up Homelander is from that, you gotta remember something. That wasn't Omni-Man's attack. That was Homelander's own attack that screwed him up like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you compare the two.
What's the matter? Are you going to cry?
And then you have Omni-Man who here, walking through the flames, basically unscathed. Sounding just so menacing. I gotta make the joke.
Are you going to cry?
He sounds like Bully McGuire.
God damn it.
And then leading into, and continuing on the whole sanity stage, Homelander goes Sonic Stream again. Back off, not as childish as it works though. And then we get into probably one of Young's best vocal performances here.
After I'm done with you, I'm gonna flashpoint that little shit son of yours! This worthless neighborhood! And every goddamn person you know!
That vocal performance just in comparison to like the earlier part of the fight, that is just an incredible change, which just shows how much Homelander's losing his grip as the fight went on.
It's now or never. He's going to...
Yeah. So he might as well get, he's basically him flying straight into Omni-Man's eyes like this. This is basically like his, I guess you could argue like his final move, or like his, what he thinks is his killing move here.
I'm gonna flashpoint that little shit son of yours! This worthless neighborhood! And every goddamn person you...
And which leads into Omni-Man powering through.
No!
And just straight up, again, I mentioned this. He's not ripping Homelander's jaw. He's straight up just destroying it, really.
He fucked it right up.
Yeah, which leads into one of the most intimidating shots of the episode. Just Omni-Man standing over, eyes scorched shut, ears bleeding, while Homelander is just cowering in fear with his jaw destroyed. And then... I think I just realized it. The sound effect when Omni-Man punches straight through and grabs Homelander's heart, it's the same sound effect that was used when Oni punched through Shao Kahn's chest, actually.
Really? Huh.
For some reason, they're both bass boosted as they're just bass boosted boom as they go for the heart grab. But yeah, and again, little attentions to detail here. Just Homelander trying to reach out for his heart while Omni-Man slowly pulls it up like that, and leading into one of the most chilling pre-kill lines.
Remember what I promised you.
And this shot, man. It's good.
the Homelander in blue, Omni-Man in red, just mostly darkened and lit up by the flame. It's so cool. And the fact this also helps animation-wise too, because going all full detail, the impact of him shoving the heart into Homelander's mouth probably wouldn't have worked as well. And he still opens up his eyes afterwards. Which just shows, like, even though it seems to have messed him up, it just shows how little it really did in the long run. And I said this, but now this is the most haunting shot in the history of the show. Like, Jesus Christ.
Definitely.
Like, just Homelander beaten and bloody, his heart in his mouth with one eye swollen shut, the one eye just bleeding. Crying. It's just Jesus. And then just him, Omni-Man standing over, framed a lot like the Think Mark scene, but just
Merry Christmas.
Just before flying off, which it's just so well done. Which I think we're gonna where we gonna leave this on pause.
I recall it was Omni-Man coming out of the fire.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there. Again, so overall, it's a really well done fight that like portrays them both like as characters really well. And Yang Ye's performance as Homelander is fantastic. But also Tom Schalk's Omni-Man it's really well done. His lines are quick and concise, but just shows how the difference in the two. Like, Homelander's a lot more of a showboater.
Yeah.
And of course, this would also make it Tom Schalk's third appearance on the show after Kool-Aid Man Geo. And he does a fantastic job. Like, vocal performances, absolutely spot on and solid. As for the fight track, Diabolical Invincible Me, It's really good.
Holy shit, it's such a banger.
Yeah, it's like you'd expect like something like a cape match like this. You'd expect it to have like some kind of rock theme or something. You know, the typical Brandon Yates stuff that we all know and love. But nah, Brandon went all out and took the track in like a different direction, and it's really well done. It fits both the themes of both shows like fantastically.
Mhm.
With that said, though, like as good as this episode is, there are some noticeable issues with it. Let's start with the obvious one: is the fact that it's a little too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that actually we can explain that with the other issue, and the other issue a lot of people have is the fact that Omni-Man was just pretty much dominating during the entire fight. Homelander barely did anything, but the thing is, the fact that that's realistically how it would go just helps the episode a lot. Like, yeah, the reason the fight went on as long as it did is because Omni-Man let it go as long. Like, the moment Homelander threatens his son, he just goes in for the kill. Like, the fact that Homelander already murdered his wife beforehand just gave him more reason to do so.
He wanted to make the person who upset him suffer.
Yeah. And another thing, just the fact is, a lot of people will say fight is short, but I honestly consider the pre-fight lead up into it to be like part of it as well. The fact that this feels less like a death battle, and more like an actual crossover between the two, I really like how well that's done. That's really good storytelling.
Oh yeah.
With that said, like, yeah, the short issue is one of them, but with that said, Immortal, I believe you said that last time you'd give it a rating of 8.5 out of 10?
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same for me, like 8.5 out of 10. This episode's not bad by any means. It's a really good episode. The only thing that keeps it from getting a little higher is the fact that it's too short. And even though, yeah, it makes sense, like, Omni-Man's way out of Homelander's league, at least maybe like 30 more seconds at least would have been nice.
Mhm.
With that said, then we get to the next time, which... Magneto vs. Tetsuo.
I said this in the last recording, but it did feel like Magneto was...
Yeah, Magneto was
far
absolutely
overdue.
long overdue for that battle. I'm not too keen on the match, but that's mostly because I haven't watched Akira, so I don't know Tetsuo that much. But track record for Marvel and DC episodes against not each other, they usually tend to be good.
Yeah.
Like, and even if the animation's not good, like, usually the matchup concept itself tends to be cool enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so with that said, I guess we ought to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Sam.
And I'm Immortal, and I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Squarespace.
You made this joke in the last recording. No, wait, you changed the
Yeah, but it
sponsor.
didn't.
I hate you. I hate you so much. Anyways, with that said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
See ya.